Hi, if someone can just please tell me if the sound is fine. I just want to make sure that the sound is fine. Hi, Lane. Hi, anti-Marxist. I like that. Karina, Rolo, Paula. Okay, everything sounds fine. Okay, we have over 115 people. Is on 130. Um, I don't know how many of you have seen, but I'm going to start now. That President Cyril Ramaphosa has said that he might address the nation next week now, after the rumors went flying around all over the country that he will be addressing the nation this week. And he actually mentioned that at a function, but it looks like he's changed his mind. There's been a lot of pressure after social media went absolutely ballistic and said that the government is planning to bring the lockdown back. There's people that have, many people that have said that the military, they are putting tents up again at the post between the different provinces, on the border post between the provinces. And this obviously sent people running off to buy cigarettes and buy alcohol and all sorts of things. But President Cyril Ramaphosa has now come and said that this is all just rumors, and he actually dismissed the rumors of a return to lockdown level 3, and he said it's simply not true. And I think it's important that we put pressure on all the time from our side, so that he feels this pressure to speak out. So he was actually taken to task in the NCOP, the National Council of Provinces, where he was simply asked, what are your plans? Are you going to level 3 lockdown again? And Ramaphosa has denied that we're moving back to level 3 lockdown. And he was asked by some of the MPs during questioning in the NCOP session, very specifically. Now, you can't lie there. So you should feel relieved that he has no plans at this stage to do anything like that. And that's what I said, I suspect. And that people are putting all sorts of information out there to get the public riled up. And Ramaphosa said that he had received news reports and observed some concerns, and that he may address the nation next week. So, with news going out, and especially alternative news, that does put pressure on the president. It's important that we keep the pressure up. And it's important that we hold them accountable. As I've said, it's an election year next year. It's local government elections. And he cannot afford to throw his local councillors under the bus, because they want re-election. And if he throws them under the bus, he won't have a ruling party left. So he is very much aware of that. And going to any kind of level lockdown over the festive season is political suicide. So if that should happen, it will come from outside South Africa. His puppet masters will be forcing him to do that. He won't do it politically. That I can guarantee you. There's no ways that he will do that. And he said it's simply not true that a move back to lockdown level 3 is imminent. And he told the NCOP that on Tuesday. Now, he's accountable to NCOP, the National Council of Provinces, so he can't say this now. And then when lockdown, if he should announce a lockdown level 3, it's going to look really bad, and they can actually hold him to account for that. So you can be rest assured, the fact that he's told NCOP that no, he's not planning on going to a lockdown level 3, that he'll be in serious trouble if he has to go back on his word. But he said that he will be studying a new report, and said the government has observed some worrying trends. So he might be speaking to us next week about this. We'll see when he actually does that. But it's important, people, that when you get these things on WhatsApp and on Telegram and on Facebook or wherever, don't see it as fact unless you can verify it. So for you to run out and stock up on booze or cigarettes or whatever, I'm asking people to have 3 months water supply first, and then 3 months food supply. This is where you should be spending any extra money that you have to make sure that you have 3 months water supply and 3 months food supply. And this will be important in future. So make sure that you get that, and you don't run off and get yourself spending thousands of rands on cigarettes and alcohol. The fact that Cyril Ramaphosa has told NCOP that he's not planning on going back to level 3 is exactly what I've said before. It'll be political suicide for him to do that. So just know that there's no ways that he can do that. Just out of the blue. Even if the case numbers increase, fear-mongering is being used to try to get us to behave a certain way, like good children. And one of the things that he'll do in his next speech, like I've said, he will try and treat us like high school kids or teenagers that are being scolded for staying out too late or staying out after curfew, and now we need to be punished. So he's not going to have over 300 people viewing this video now. I don't want to keep you for too long. We're busy laying out the schedule now for the next 2 weeks until we go back to Cape Town, and then we'll come out again to many places. We have to be back in Cape Town the 18th of November. So we'll be having a meeting this Saturday, and then almost every single day from then until we have our last meeting in Bloemfontein before we return to Cape Town. I believe that's going to be on the 14th, if I'm not mistaken. So our last meeting will probably be on the 14th in Bloemfontein. So let me just have a look to make sure. Yes, Saturday the 14th of November, we will be in Bloemfontein, and then we'll travel back to Cape Town, and then we'll come out again. We'll we'll make sure we'll go to all the, and there's a lot of towns we'll be visiting in quick succession. So I really look forward to meeting with the people. We'll be having a meeting tomorrow night as well. It's a pre-arranged meeting. So yes, at least we've had food shortages, definitely something to think about. So yes, our schedule is going to be full. We've had some time now at least to do some admin work, and many people have contacted me frantic about another virus that is coming, and another virus that's going to be much worse, and we're all going to get locked down in November and December. From our government side, looking at other countries, you can't just say that the same thing will happen here. The Commonwealth will generally affect what our government does. There's just one thing saving us right now. There's an election coming next year, and this is a saving grace for us. So food shortages is going to come in future. And the United Nations has actually said that we will have food shortages 2 years ago, and now it's happened. We didn't know at the time why they would happen, but now it's there. So there is no virus. There's plenty viruses in the world. So yes, to say that there is no virus, we need to specify what that means. And I would love to see the isolated SARS-CoV-2 virus. I would love our president. I've called on him to show us a picture of the isolated SARS-CoV-2 virus. I can't wait to see it. And the other thing I would love for him to do is prove to us that this virus causes what he calls COVID-19. I would love to see the evidence for that. As our leader in the country, I would really love to see this evidence, and I call on the president to provide that to us. It'll be wonderful, because that'll sort things out for him. Through simple evidence, we can resolve things like that. Tomorrow morning, I'll be doing an article with you, and I just want to say that I'm very proud of the people of South Africa. The fact that we actually question what's happening in the world. And there was a survey done around the world. I think they used about 20 countries. They surveyed over 40,000 people. And South Africa is in the front line, mostly in the top 3 countries, refuting all this nonsense that's being thrown at us. So initially during this lockdown, we didn't fare as well. But now, I think they said 68% of people in South Africa believe that there's a global government or organization or orchestration behind what is happening in the world in general. 68% of South African respondents, and they're very concerned with a survey about how countries like South Africa, how the people believe these falsehoods. And, I will do that article tomorrow in detail. And it's incredible to see that we are at the forefront. South Africa and Nigeria, we're at the forefront. And not far behind are many other European countries, even the UK, the USA, Italy, France, Spain. I've seen the huge protests that happen in Spain as well as in Italy. Many of those protests got violent. So those people have had it. Many people complain when people in informal settlements burn tires in the road. But the people in Spain and Italy, they burning stuff and they bombing things and breaking windows and all sorts. So yes, I suppose if you want to call them that savage behavior, that's what people do to try and get what they want. And it's fascinating that this is what it takes overseas for governments to actually listen to people. And there were thousands of people in Spain and Italy taking to the streets and doing this. Now, in our country, all we need to do is keep on informing people. We need an informed citizenry in South Africa. And this is very important. So I really want to thank the people of South Africa. What we are doing is working. This is showing in stats. So you can look forward to that video that I'll do tomorrow morning. We had a loss of power from this morning when I woke up till this evening, 6 o'clock. Between 6 and 7, we didn't have any electricity because we had an outage at one of these Eskom substations where they had to work on breakers. But the power is back now, so tomorrow morning I'll make that video. South Africa, a leading country in not believing the nonsense that's been dished up, where we were actually one of the countries that were cowering to everything the government was doing before. It means our campaigns are working. Everything we're doing around the country, these millions of views that the channel is getting, the channel has passed 1.3 million views now. It's absolutely incredible. I think the channel's gone past 21,800 subscribers and climbing. And I want to thank all of you because you've made it happen and you've shared these videos so that the people can actually see what's happening out there. This is an alternative media channel, and I try to give a perspective on what's happening in the world with regards to history and the future. My perspective on that. And I really want to thank you for being with me on this journey. And like I said, I will be making more question everything videos. I've actually lined that up in my mind. Some of them are going to be shocking. There were 400 people watching now. Some of them are going to shock the nation. I'm going to put out a few things that's probably going to ruffle feathers. It's going to be tough. Those are big decisions for me to make, but I feel that the time is right and I have to do that. And I will only have to see what the future holds when I actually bring that out. But really, once again, people, thank you for being in the top 3 in the world with regards to questioning this COVID-19 pandemic, not believing that our government is in charge. I mean, this is an individual poll that was done where people were asked, 40,000 people from different countries. This is significant that our percentages have skyrocketed in the people that are questioning what is happening in the world. And this is a huge victory. So just understand that this massive effort, every share that you put out, every like that you put on a video, when you like the video, the live stream, the algorithms kick in and it shares it to more people. The video of myself and Reino yesterday had over 12,000 views. And many people download that and they share it on other formats as well. So it gets lots more exposure. So I really want to thank you for that. And most of these live streams now are getting many views. So the channel is starting to grow. We need to grow it as much as we can so that we can show these videos to many people. At the moment, there are over 2,000 subscribers from overseas. So the overseas people are growing as well. And people overseas are starting to do what we're doing, touring their countries. There's people touring in various countries, trying to make the public aware of what is happening around the world, giving them an alternative understanding, not just the mainstream media understanding. And we will get resistance. This has already happened. I haven't received any death threats in emails or anything like that, but people have said some nasty things, and it really doesn't bother me because we have so many people building a critical mass of people that think the same, that things aren't just normal, that things are abnormal, and we don't accept this new normal that these world powers want to create in our lives. We're not interested in this. We want our normal, and we want the freedom to live our lives the way that we want to. So I'm not going to hold you a lot longer. If there's any questions for me, I'm going to leave about 5 minutes for questions now. I'm not concerned at this stage about... yes, Beata, thank you for that. People are touring Germany with buses. That's really awesome that that is happening. Yes, Mara, we the people have the power. I need to come and visit you just to give you a hug. Such a wonderful person that's organized about 5 meetings for us already. When will you be back in Joburg? I can announce now that we'll be having a meeting this Saturday where we are in Gauteng right now. So I will, anyone that wants to come, you can send a WhatsApp message. And this Saturday, we will have a meeting here in Gauteng, where we are stationed right now. So if you send us that WhatsApp message, then we will send you the pin drop closer to the time. And bring your own camping chair, because I don't think we're going to have enough space for all the people that will come. So here's the number again, 067 607 6428. So I'll just put it in here, and then you can take that, 067 607 6428. And you can just send a WhatsApp to that number. And I suspect it's going to be a fairly large meeting. So bring your own camping chairs. We have chairs for, I would say, around 50 people. But I think it's probably going to be a larger group than that. So this Saturday, send a WhatsApp message. It's close enough to Joburg and Pretoria for people to drive out, or for people from the surrounds. And we will send you a pin drop closer to the time to come and attend. So I look forward to that. I brought a speaker with, so I will be able to speak on a microphone. Otherwise, my throat's not going to last. And then we'll be traveling from there and visiting town after town after town. It's going to be in quick succession, and I really look forward to that. And then we'll come back to those venues again. We'll do another tour around those areas. Any other questions? Chanel, yes, you just left South Africa. Most people will come back here eventually. You won't have a choice. This is going to be the safest country. I can tell you now that just based on the stats that we've seen, I tell the people in the meetings that we are not only the safest country on earth, but we are also the freest country on earth. And the fact that we can have these meetings just proves it. And a lot of people don't understand the context in which I tell them this, but in the meetings, I'll make it clear, and you will leave there understanding exactly what I mean. The people of South Africa are different. We are special. This is a very special country, and this is people from across all backgrounds and religions. This country is unique, very unique, and the New World Order powers, this new order that's been created, they're battling with us. We are very haragat. We don't just fall in line with people. So, yes, I really look forward to seeing the people tomorrow in the meeting. That meeting is set. Specific people are being invited to that. And then the meeting on Saturday, I really look forward to meeting with everyone that will arrive here. There's a large open space outside. But like I said, bring your camping chairs. Just to make sure that we have enough seating place, and it's going to be awesome. The 2 meetings we had here before, we had large groups of people here, and it was really, really pleasant. I look old tonight. Yes, it must be the horrible lighting. I am 49 years old. So, yeah, and I have my beard. I haven't shaven in a while. I normally let it grow out a bit, and then I shave. Mozzie cream. Straatbraai. Well, there's two big circle braais here on the property, so yeah, you can always think about doing something like that. Natalie Smith, I'm slowly building my food supply and water. Also have a veg garden in the backyard. One of the most revolutionary things you can do right now is to have your own veggie garden to make sure that you have got food supply that is independent of other people. I cannot overstate this. You know, I'm not a person that is like a prepper or whatever at all. You should have at least 3 months food and water supply. That should not be negotiable at all. It should be a normal thing for you, a normal thing that you live with. And once you have 3 months, then you can speak to me, and I can tell you what would help for the future. But it's very important that you do that. Will we have a verdict from the court on Friday? Can the Grin? Which court case? We already got a verdict last Friday, and my live stream yesterday with Reiner de Beer covered that in detail. So I'm not sure if you missed that. The unshaved look. No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. I actually watched the series on Chernobyl, the entire 5-part series. And yes, I will tell some of my Kubik stories and never before heard stories. I think people will find it interesting. And I told my wife this morning I should actually write a book on that because it'll be interesting. People will find it interesting for sure. Heirloom seeds, that's very important. Just remember, many of the seeds today that you get in the shops, they are sterile with regards to the plants actually not producing seeds that you can plant again. So just be aware of that. We need heirloom seeds. For those of you who don't understand what that means, it means that the crops from those seeds, their seeds can still be used. We should all let our hair grow like Samson. Tough Gemini, I like that. Yes. Well, I don't shave every day. So I shave, I let my beard grow out until it annoys me, and then I shave it again. Rabbits, chickens, and fish. You've started rabbits, chickens, and fish. That's excellent, Terence. Very good idea. There's actually a house that we visited that is just absolutely amazing, where someone that's become our friend when we stayed there try to create a house that is self-sustaining. And he has fish there, he has chickens. He was busy finishing his bird aviary, but he has veggies all over the garden. It's absolutely beautiful what you can do, and it's on a normal size plot. It's not massive at all. So yes, you can do a lot. How do you contact me? Well, I have a number 067 607 6428. You can send a WhatsApp to that number. For as long as this tour is happening this year, that number can be used to send a WhatsApp to. I'm not going to take phone calls from numbers I haven't saved at this stage, because it's best for you to send a message through. Send an SMS if it's urgent, and then I will phone you back. But some of the phone calls that I've taken off late, it's best for me not to take those and worry about what other people have said in other countries. Most of these things I've received long before it goes into the mainstream. So often like people were freaking out over Canada, or so-called documents that were leaked from Canada saying that there's this new virus, COVID-21, that's going to be released, and XYZ is going to happen. People, more than 2 months ago, I had that information already. I just ignored it. If I took it seriously, I would have put it out there. Yes, that's correct, Nicolette. But you'll always find my number in the description below the videos. So in the description below the videos, you'll find my number. If you have not yet subscribed, you need to click on the subscribe button, and then click on the bell icon to get notifications. Many of people have told me they don't get notifications for live streams, but if you click the bell icon, then you will receive those notifications. And often I just do it at short notice. Well, being tested positive for a fraction of a coronavirus, you are just testing. Dr. Beata Zetzer, who's watching with us now, she said that I must just make it clear that you're not testing for coronavirus, you're just testing for small little snippets of a coronavirus, not necessarily the SARS-CoV-2 virus. So this PCR test cannot tell you exactly what it is that you have. It cannot tell you that it's the SARS-CoV-2 virus. So they only do this test via association, and they believe that if you test positive, that it probably is the SARS-CoV-2 virus that you have, which is absolute nonsense. There's so many other like a lot of people say that SARS-CoV-2 is the seasonal flu, but remember the cold viruses are coronaviruses. So yes, it's got nothing to do with flu, is something completely different. A lot of people get confused. So the normal common cold. And yes, so just remember that the PCR test, yes, Paul van der Vyver, PCR tests are basically useless for diagnostics. It definitely is useless. False positives. Well, we know about false positives. Tough Gemini. Remember that African president that sent in a sample of a pawpaw and who knows what else, and they came back positive. So yes, flu-like illness. Yes, Dr. Beata Setzer, she just said that we should say it's a flu-like illness, not the flu, because then you might just confuse people. So thank you for that, Dr. Beata. Yeah, I've actually asked her to do a short live stream with me again at some stage, specifically talking about the PCR test. And I think it'll be important to speak about the PCR test, as well as how you actually find out that someone has a disease. In other words, that you can't test for a disease. For us to just have a short discussion on that. So hopefully we can do that in the near future. Okay, I didn't believe him, even he tells me the time. Who tells you the time? I've started a group farming project, invest in livestock. The brew, yes, I would agree. Livestock, just make sure they don't get stolen. Here where I stay, livestock has been stolen before. So yes, I think that's the only thing you need to make sure of. But definitely, people, make sure that you can supply your own food. Even if people in a community do different things and they actually can share with each other. And when you meet with myself and my wife, we'll actually give you details of how this can be done in future. My husband has started to stack up on food. What I'm curious about is, will we have to move or stay in our places when it comes to that? Ronel, Rainier, there are many scenarios that are possible in future. So just remember one thing. The first thing I will tell people is to stock up on the food, because most people don't have it. Once I stocked up, then I'll tell them, make sure that you can move it if necessary. Because it's not about just a specific event. This is about a normal way of living. So one up from having 3 months food and water supply, or even more, that's minimum you should have. Minimum, remember, is to be able to move that amount of food and water as well. Now, you can do that in a relatively small trailer. And this is why 3 months comes in handy, because that's a quantity that you can easily move if you have to. Imagine a virus is released where staying at home isn't safe anymore, or a pathogen is released where staying at home isn't safe anymore. I certainly would want to move to an area where it's hot, very hot and dry. There's many reasons for that, but that's what I would do. Okay. Trinda joined Johannesburg Northwest WhatsApp group. Yes, that's awesome. It's called war. No, we're not going to have war. Well, many things can be war. You know, germ war, biological war. There's many wars that can be fought. There can be a war for the mind of yourself and your children. We're over 500 people watching. My goodness, this time of night. The brew, it's been my normal way of living for a while. 25 sheep, 10 cattle, shared between the community, maintained by a qualified farmer. That's a very good way of doing things, and I want more people to start thinking like this. Button quails in suburbia, yes, definitely, that's definitely possible. I know people that do that. Dane Wenzel, Infowars and London Real, what about them? I've been contacted by so many other channels and I've refused interviews with them, and I have many reasons for this. I call for a civil peace. I agree fully. Beata, I agree. It is a type of war at the moment. Definitely, it's a war on our minds. Definitely a war on our freedom. It's a war on the way we are allowed to live our lives. And this is serious. This is not a small thing. I always tell people the Third World War started in the 80s, especially in the school systems. Indoctrination that have gotten us to the point where we are now. And unfortunately, a lot of us have become a part of that system. You won't be microchipped via injection. It's easy. You just put the microchip in via a tube, which looks like a giant needle. And I know newborn babies are being microchipped at the moment in certain countries. The parents allow it or want it. And all you have to do is actually make children disappear to get parents to want their children to be microchipped. So, you create the crisis and then you create the solution at the same time. That's how these people operate. And so it's just important to understand that I agree, Beata, it's the largest event since World War II. Just understand that the powers that run this world, and in my meetings, I get very specific. I don't say they and them. I can tell you exactly what it is. What they have to do is create the crisis so that you would want their solution. And that solution will always be where you hand over a portion of your freedom. And we've been doing this for a very long time. We've been handing over our freedoms to people. And this has become the norm in our lives. It's just handing over more and more freedom for safety. And we'll keep on doing that for safety. So you make a couple of kids disappear, and all of a sudden everyone wants cameras in the neighborhoods, outside the schools. And the next thing that you do is then you give a solution. Oh, but your child won't go missing if you put a chip in them. So this is how you get your children chipped. That's simple. World War III started already in the 80s, people. It's just you don't need weapons to fight a psychological war like that. It's been very successful, but our fight back is successful. And that video that I'll do tomorrow morning, I want to finish up now. That video that I'll do tomorrow morning will show you how successful our work has been. Far more, I was shocked actually when I saw the numbers. These people are shocked at the numbers. Remember, these people are not our friends. And the people that did the survey, they are shocked and worried. And I'm so glad with that result. I'm really proud of the people of South Africa. So tomorrow morning, you can look forward to that video. I hope the power is not out again. But I'll make sure that the laptop is charged so that I can at least upload the video for you. I will go through the entire article. I'll give you all the percentages. Crucial that you understand the role that you've played in spreading the information to the point where we now actually have a majority of people in the country based on this specific questionnaire that they put out behind what we believe in. And this is really, really good news. And I want to thank all of you for going through the effort of sharing these videos, liking the videos, and remember to share the video now after the live stream ends. Please share the video with your friends and family. And remember, I allow people to please download my videos and share it to people on other platforms. So you don't just have to share the link. Okay, so tomorrow, people, I look forward to making that video for you. You can look forward to that. How South Africa is on top of understanding what's happening in the world. Nigeria is also there with us. I find that very interesting. The other stats you'll also find interesting. And as usual, I'll put the link of that article below the video. So you can look forward to that tomorrow morning. And thank you for joining me in this live chat. It's been 35 minutes and it's over 500 people watching. This is really incredible. I thank you because remember, I did not preview this. I didn't put advertisers live stream. So I really appreciate that you've come out to watch. And just remember, we have a solution for the country. It involves electing our leaders directly. And for that, we need a new constitution. We need a new governance system. And we need a new electoral act. And the Concord ruling was the first part of that victory. But we need to do a lot more than that. This movement is starting right now. We're going in the right direction. And we have a lot of momentum. So thank you very much for joining in. Have a good evening further, and then you can look out for that video tomorrow morning.